Alright YouTube, Mr. 49 here. It seemed quite like a good point to do another update video, so yeah, I'm going to get moving with it and so on. There's a few bits of I've been doing. I'm going to start off with the platforms, which are obviously here and here. Yeah, they've all been now sanded down. I've screwed them down to the baseboard as well. They're all at the correct height. If people are interested, from the top of the track to the top of the station is 15 millimeters or 1.5 centimeters. Then the length of them is that's not the final length of them, so just forget that bit. The width of the one which runs between the two rails, which is this bottom one here, is 7 centimeters, and the width of the one at the top is just 5.5 centimeters. But they seem to be about the right width there, and they look quite good actually, especially when you've got two locos sort of running around the track and so on. So yeah, so that's all that I've really done with the stations. Next job is to paint them. I'm going to add brick sides and paving slab for these top, and then add all, benches and everything like that, but that's all scenery, so that's at a later date. So this is the other quite important area where I've been doing actually most of the work has been done at this end. It's, as you can now see, I finally finished off the track. I got the 2 points I required at the top. They've come along really nicely, it all fits in, works quite well. As well as that, I've added in my level crossing. That's where it's going to sit. Those are actually all stuck down, they won't move anywhere, same go to the middle and stuff. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to use polyfiller or maybe cardboard or something in the middle between the rails, those two gaps. I'll have to just see how that goes when I sort of get onto that stage. But anyway, yeah, that's all stuck down. It's all nice and clear, and so the gate's open and stuff. Now, the width of the road that I've decided to do is not really this station here is not a like a main city station. It's more of a medium-sized town sort of station. So it is quite an important station, but it's not sort of like all like basically I'm saying the roads aren't giant. This road here would be the equivalent of a small A road or a large B road. If you're in England, you know exactly what I'm on about. For everyone else, it's motorways or highways. If you're in the US, and then you've got the next size road down, that's the equivalent of our A road, and then the next size is the equivalent of our B road. Yeah, it's somewhere between the A and the B road. The width across is 6.5 centimeters at the gates, and 7 centimeters will be the actual width of the road. 7 centimeters, I worked it out using a website which I'm doing a video on, just 2 really useful websites. But anyway, when I worked it out using the website, 7 centimeters is about 17.5 feet, which is, what would that be? Well, yeah, each lane is just under 8 foot wide, which is about correct for the size of road I'm using. So yeah, that's gone quite nicely. Obviously that's going straight through there. I hope you can see the road markings. This is going to be a small goods yard. Now, my line is mainly going to be a coal sort of line. This third one is. So I will be building a mine somewhere. That's just a little hint of what might be coming later. So because of that, I don't need a very large goods area. So this one here was more of a area for like Royal Mail. They'll get their train in there, just for the odd delivery and stuff. Not really anything big. So because of that, it's quite a small area. I've obviously got my goods yard, which is going to sit right there. That's its final place. Just swing around slightly. Yeah, that's the final place of the goods yard, is where it's going to sit. Now, to make enough room, I had to actually take off this flexi track, and then I've bent it around about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch towards the edge of the baseboard, which has given it a nice curve, which is all good, but it's given it a huge amount more clearance on the inside, so that's come along really nicely. And yeah, it's looking quite good. So this is the next thing which I've done is I put the control panel up, exactly the same layout as the other one, using screws instead of switches. I've got my control wire, which will eventually have a probe on the end of it. It's all wired up point motor wise. If you can just about see that that point now. I don't know if you're going to see it move in the camera or not, but we'll have a look. Anyway, you can hear it moving at least. So yeah, so that's all working out, which means I've done all of the point motors on the current board. All of it's wired in. At the end of the video, I'll be running a loco, so you actually see it all working and everything. Alright then, I just thought I'm going to show you the wiring. This is all freeheld, so it might be a bit wobbly, but anyway. As you can see, everything is colour coded, red and black for each one, red and black, and so on. Which means it's a lot easier to understand and everything. You can also see I've got chop blocks at either end. Where's the chop block? There it is. Chop block at either end like that. Which is very good at holding your wires nice and neat and tight and anything. You can just see the point motors. There they are. And you got obviously positives coming in one side and then the joint negative coming out the other side. And you see that black wire right at the top of your screen. That's the negative to the point motors, and it goes the positive point motors, then negative to the positive track, and so on, so on, so on, so on. But yeah, that's working quite well actually. It's actually quite neat under there. Comparing, there's actually loads of wires on there, but it's all really neat. It's out the way. It's all understandable. So yeah, that's just something to think for when you're doing wiring. Is try and make it as neat as possible. Only just for future use, it'd be a lot easier like this than lots of little bits and pieces everywhere. So yeah. Right then, another sort of thing I'm going to mention here is just a bit of advice for anybody, and that's basically to try and keep your area as neat and tidy as you can. Now, a few ways of doing this, and I'll just show you what I've done. Now, with the wiring, obviously there's three DC controllers there, so I obviously need 3 plugs. So there's my 3 plugs on a 4 block. I've got 2 spare plugs, one for my light, and the final one you can see there, which is how I use it for whatever I need powering up. So yeah, so that's a very useful thing to have, and I've just screwed it onto the inside of one of the legs, so it's out of the way. All the wires run to it. They're not sort of tangled around your feet, around the floor. I think that's a good idea as well. Now things like saws and stuff, it's not on its hooks, but there are hooks on those back beams, and basically I just hook the saw on there so it's out of the way. Now this one here on the other side is actually quite a good idea, if you can find them at least. These are, I'm not quite sure what they actually are, but they're basically just plastic crates that lock together, which means you can stack them like that. Under my layout I can fit 5 in a stack. I'm just looking for 3 more. But I've got everything I need in here for the moment. I'm going to need 1 or 2 more for scenery and stuff when I get that far. But anyway, so I've got, for instance, I've got large tools, I've got smaller just general tools, I've got screws and stuff, and on the very bottom I've got track, and then on the other side I have got woodworking tools, scenery and electrical stuff. So yeah, it's just nice and organised. If I need something I just grab the box and I know it'll be in there. I'm not going to lose anything, which is useful, and it just makes it so much easier doing that. So now I'm actually going to run a loco. I'm going to be running County of Bedford, which is middle of the screen now. I'm just going to be running a loco over all the track and everything, and just be sort of a good idea, especially as I've just finished it. Nice day to check it all work. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that bit. Okay then, this is about the only angle you can see everything, so I'm going to have my head in the way of the camera for a bit. But anyway, I'm going to be using the County of Bedford, which is a 440 GWR loco. It's part of the Hornby Railroad range. It's quite a nice runner actually. But anyway, yeah, so I just need to set the points using my, well, eventually will be probe. That's all correct. I'm going to end up on the, yeah, I'll come onto the middle line, so I need to change that control. And that one. So then, now the way I've worked out to do it smoothly, because obviously I'm running from one controller to another controller over an insulated point, I actually set the speed of this one before I start, and now look, I'm on the other track, and I'll then move over onto the final track. Now obviously eventually when I have a whole layout I'll be able to carry on, but I haven't quite got enough room at that end of the track to bring the whole train on. So I'll change direction. Back into the middle line, and I will now flip the point. There and there. Again, I've got to do the same thing, set the speed on the new controller. And we have got a dead point, unfortunately, which is slightly irritating, but there we go. Something's not quite right with the connection on that point. I know how to fix it, which I haven't got around to it yet. So anyway, I'll now come back onto this track, like so. And that's how you can flick from one track to the other. And just as another one, I've got this loco running as well on the inside track. So, yeah, that's quite nice. It's still working. Obviously, that one point. I can tell you what it is. It's just a bad connection between the track and the arm. But I'm gonna put a DCC clip in, and that will sort it all out. Especially as an insulated point, so it doesn't really make much difference to that anyway. So yeah, that is it for this update. As somebody mentioned in one of my previous videos, I'm almost at the stage of scenery. Well, I am now. A few bits of buildings going up, stations, everything. Hopefully by the next update there will be an extension to the board on either end, which will mean I'll be able to run locos a bit better. You know, like to run through and so on. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. So thanks for watching.